Wow, has it really been over a year since the last episode? Time really flies. Before the video starts, I want to take a brief moment to talk about what happened to some of the episodes in the series, such as the videos I made on the Bureau of Magical Things and Dive Club that I worked so hard on. If you want to skip over this part, I don't blame you. I'll have a timestamp in the description below to save you time. The Bureau of Magical Things Season 1 got falsely struck down, in my opinion, even though it's fair use as far as US copyright law is concerned. For Season 2 and Dive Club, I chose to remove those along with videos about Australian content out of fear that I'll get more false strikes. What this means for my channel is that I am essentially restricted to covering US-based content, such as Stranger Things, Secrets of Sulphur Springs, and anything else in that territory. This problem alone has caused me to lose the will to create content on a consistent basis, so expect long breaks from YouTube from time to time. I do want to throw in that I started up a channel on Odyssey, which means I'll be able to cover Australian content more, just not on YouTube. On top of this, I have been working on a lot of audio description narrations, both for personal and professional purposes, and those take up a lot of my time. I think I've rambled on for long enough, so without any further delay, I present to you everything great about Secrets of Sulphur Springs Season 3. Let's go! Right off the bat, the recap is one of my favorite moments. The selection of scenes shown, along with the score, makes it perfect. The score gives off this dark and ominous tone, and perfectly carries over from the Season 2 finale, when things were essentially going to hell. I love it! Did you notice it too? That's right, these insane composers, and I mean that in the nicest possible way, remixed the main theme song for the show into this unrecognizable darker version. Honestly, I didn't even pick up on it until I sat down and started writing this video. The attention to every detail in this season has been insane. Okay, Disney, I see you. Disney isn't afraid to push things when it comes to their shows, and the fact that we get this type of opening tells us we're in for the ride of our lives. Okay, time out. We need to talk about character development for Wyatt. If you watched every episode of the series so far, you'd remember that Wyatt and his sister Zoe were, for lack of a better term, scared of ghosts. Every little noise would have them on edge. However, when we see Wyatt casually walk over to room 205's door to grab his hat, despite the fact that there's an evil presence in the room, shows true bravery from Wyatt. I mean, anything could have happened to him, but he risked his life. This moment right here deserves some bonus wins.
What is this place? It's like a time capsule in here. Gas masks, rations, hazmat suits. Must have been built during the Cold War.
The suspense in this scene is real. Savannah's hiding, Ben's looking around, and Harper is just hoping he doesn't find Savannah.
This place wasn't in any of the old blueprints I pulled for the renovations. How'd you know it was here?
I was moving some boxes around in the basement and found the door by accident. It's crazy to think a bunker was sitting beneath the hotel all this time.
Let's take a moment to admire Harper's skills and misdirection in this scene. Obviously, telling Ben about the portal and time travel is out of the question. So, Harper, on the spot, is able to come up with the perfect lie, where nobody is going to question her. We even saw her skills being put to use when she was pretending to be Daisy in 1930. So, to see that here once again is a great callback. Man, Disney's ability to create suspense in a single scene never ceases to amaze me. Harper is clearly thinking on her feet in this scene. I guarantee you, if she had hesitated for just one more second, Ben would notice something is off, and ask questions we know Harper wouldn't want to answer. Oh no, am I going to talk about suspense for the entire video? Probably.
Tell Griffin, no more exploring.
No problem. I'll go meet up with Griffin right now and make sure he doesn't hatch any crazy plans.
Had I not watched the scene with audio description, I would have no idea what was being conveyed here. Harper knows Savannah is hiding behind a wall, but is still in earshot. Ben doesn't know this and thinks nothing of what Harper actually said. What Harper is really saying in secret code is that once Savannah has the all clear, they should meet near the hatch outside. Savannah nods as if to say, "Yep, I got it." All I can say is, clever. I absolutely love these opening credits. The first 2 seasons had more of a lighter tone to them, but these really take the darkness of the season to a whole other level. Even my friend who watched this entire season with me commented just how much they love these new opening visuals and the theme song for the show. I can only imagine what the opening will be for season 4. Come on, Disney, renew it already.
It felt like the hat was being ripped out of my hand.
You're lucky that's all that happened.
I gotta say, seeing Wyatt and Zoe being older in this season felt a little strange at first, because I'm sure we all remember what they were like in season 2. This right here shows significant character growth, both on and off screen. Also, Wyatt wearing his hat, always a win. Okay, that was cool. And here we are again. The score changed to feel ominous just as Sarah opened the door to room 205. Who knew a room in a hotel could create such a dark atmosphere for the show? And that smoke really adds to the realism of this entire scene.
It's been a while. We should go visit.
What's the point? It doesn't change anything.
Maybe it will. And things can go back to the way they were.
Even though the cast for Wyatt and Zoe are older, we really gotta appreciate how different these two look in 2024. You can just tell the Campbell family suffered something big, and the darkness that's been hinted at has affected them in such a way where they're no longer the family they used to be.
What if we're too late? What if something already happened to Griffin in the future?
We have to believe it'll all work out.
Despite these dire circumstances, Savannah manages to remain optimistic and have faith.
So, the night we freed Grace, Griffin and I, we sort of almost kissed.
You did? Took you long enough.
Nice callback, Harper. Also, gotta love Savannah's reaction to this. Now we just gotta wait for Griffin and Harper to kiss in season 5. Maybe it'll happen sooner? Guess we'll find out.
This is my area of expertise, remember?
Anyone with Wi-Fi and a web browser could become an expert.
Except Mom and Dad blocked all the good ghost sites.
Zoe just described the modern day, especially with how fast technology is progressing. Anyone with a computer and web browser can become literally anything. I mean, look at me. I'm a content creator, audio description narrator, and pretty much a bunch of other things. My point is, with easy access to the internet, the sky's the limit.
Cameron must be kicking himself for missing out tonight.
I wouldn't know. Griffin's out of my life. For good.
Oh man, the burn. This must have caught Griffin off guard. Whatever happened between them must have been serious enough to warrant a breakup or something. Hold on, were they dating?
Well, Harper and I have. It's special. No way we let anything come between us.
Griffin has a point here. He and Harper have been through so much together, even going so far as being trapped in 2 different times away from each other. The point is, they never gave up on each other, so it's kind of surprising to see Harper gave up on Griffin in 2024.
Found the problem.
It was in the pipe.
Oh, thank goodness.
I think we were all thinking this when the crystal showed up.
What's it gonna take for you to leave me alone?
Harper,
I changed my number, blocked you on all of my accounts, but for some reason, you still haven't gotten the message. So let me lay it out for you. We are done, Griffin. I don't want you in my life.
Harper really went scorched earth on Griffin here. This scene was a powerful one, and one can only imagine all the emotions running through Griffin right now. His best friend and potential girlfriend is talking to him in this way. Griffin is no doubt confused by all of this. This scene is intense, especially with the choice of that score. Did I mention it felt ominous already? Yeah, pretty sure I did.
next time on Secrets of Sulphur Springs.
My favorite part of Secrets of Sulphur Springs is the next time segments. Not only do they end episodes on insane cliffhangers, but they pull you right back in with what will happen in the next episode to make you want to watch the next one. Clever.
Maybe tomorrow, after a good night's sleep, when the storm is gone, when the sun is up.
Step back, cowards. I've got this.
Zoe's bravery really shows here. We already talked about Wyatt, but this is on a whole other level.
What? You don't believe us?
Oh, I believe you. In fact, I bet she's watching us right now.
And so she is. Watching them, I mean. Yep, the visions are back. We now know what happened. We just don't know why.
Harper, did you see anything?
Like what?
A ghost. A spirit. It was on the patio.
You sure look like you saw a ghost.
No. No, I didn't see anything.
Gotta love when Harper covers for Savannah.
Maybe it didn't disappear.
Looking for this?
Just when Harper thought things were over, Savannah comes in and saves the day.
Oh, yep. They'll give it a smack trick. Why didn't I think of that?
The Harper maneuver returns. I love it. Also, Savannah, don't you remember you did the same thing in 1962? I'm just going to ding the ding, but not change anything. I remember when people gave me shit for taking wins off, so this is the next best thing, right?
Griffin!
Oh,
What's wrong?
nothing. Just, you're the Harper, right?
Griffin's reaction here is genuine because he initially had no idea which Harper he was talking to, and obviously didn't know Savannah there. Then again, that could have meant anything. Still, I love this little moment right here.
What happened to the Tremont? I had another vision.
This time you were right on.
So, it happened? Or it is gonna happen?
Okay, let's talk about what Griffin just said about Harper's visions. We know from season 2 that Harper kept having visions of a fire, but we had no idea why or how it was happening. Then in the finale, we saw the Tremont on fire in 2024. In one of Harper's visions, we could hear Griffin calling out.
Is anyone there? Please, don't leave me.
So perhaps he was calling out for Harper not to leave him trapped in the fire. So her visions were correct, they just didn't happen in the past or present, the present being 2020. Sorry, just had to analyze the scene a bit more. Okay, back to the wins.
Stop the ghost now.
You've got your hat. I've got Mom's hair comb. For protection.
Or it does the exact opposite and attracts ghosts.
Wyatt do be foreshadowing though. There's a smoke monster from the Ghost. You can always count on Disney to make a scene this intense.
Whoa. Relax.
Sam really knows how to make a dramatic entrance. Room 205, the room where strange things happen, especially the part where the papers fly around looking like a twister. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Everything that happens in this room reflects the darkness of this season. I don't know about the rest of you, but I wouldn't change a thing.
And this feeling that I wasn't alone. You believe me, don't you?
Ah, the first sign of self-doubt. We know, and Sarah knows, that the ghost is real. However, because of the apparent evil energy it has, it likely wants to destroy people's lives. What better way to do that than to cause doubt and mistrust within the Campbell family? We saw how it affected Griffin's relationship with his dad in 2024, as well as Wyatt and Zoe's relationship. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of how.
I told everyone to stay out of that room.
I didn't have a choice. I had to look for a feather duster.
A feather duster?
Yeah, we're on a scavenger hunt. Candlestick, pliers, a lady's lipstick. What happened to have one of those? Would you, Mrs. C?
I feel like Topher is the character to provide comic relief in this season. To be honest, the new Topher has kind of grown on me, and I don't mind him as much now as I did before.
Where the dead live. And the living are dead. If they get caught by the dead. Boom. Ah!
Okay, that one gave me a laugh. What? Do you think I'm gonna go off on another tangent? I think I'll just leave it at that.
Or is all this ghost talk getting to you?
It's not just talk. I've experienced it. I'm telling you, Jess. Either this ghost is real, or I'm losing my mind.
And there it is. Sarah's self-doubt about what she experienced. We know it's real, as does she, but she has no way of proving it to Jess, Ben, or anyone else for that matter. Sure, Wyatt and Zoe had experienced something similar, but Ben, Sarah, and Jess are your stereotypical parents that think their kids are imagining all of this. I think we can let Sarah off the hook though, because even though she didn't have a shared experience with the ghost, she witnessed something right around the same time as Wyatt and Zoe. What I'm saying is, they weren't all together when it happened, but I do think Sarah is starting to come around to acknowledging that something is haunting the Tremont. Okay, rant over.
Yes, time travel. 1990, 1962, even 1930. I've been all over the place.
But you disappeared years ago. Or years from now, if it really is 1962.
I found that radio and the hatch, and I time traveled.
Nice recap. Savannah would be excellent at ending explained.
Oh, hey, Dad. So, we can explain. Actually, we can't.
Well, luckily, I can explain this season in another ending explained, but you gotta subscribe. Come on, do it now. It may take a while, but it'll be worth it.
Guys, we have no idea what's down here or why it was built. Not to mention these tunnels, one of which, by the way, doesn't look very stable.
Ben would be excellent at CinemaSins. In all seriousness, let's take a breather from the joke wins for a bit. Ben has a point. Ever since the show began, we only ever got to see 3 sections of the bunker. The tunnel from the basement, the main room, and the tunnel where the portal/hatch is. You know what I'd love for season 4? If they could somehow explain why the bunker was built, and maybe show what's down those other tunnels that have supposedly collapsed. We can only dream.
Why didn't you guys come to us when you first found this place?
I don't know. Look, I guess it just kind of became our hangout. Our special place. Like the treehouse was for you and Savannah.
Not only do I love this callback, but I like how Griffin tries to reason with Ben by comparing the bunker to something from his and Savannah's past, which was the treehouse. Remember that from season 1? Yep, I do too.
I'm just worried. Are you happy here, Savannah?
Of course I am.
First, big win for more Savannah and Caroline moments from this season. Second, I like how Savannah calls back to being a foster kid during her time in 1990, and how Caroline took her in after that big storm in 1960. I think what I like most here is how Savannah talks about her real parents, but we never get to see them, and they're hardly ever brought up again. Potential season 4 idea?
Only natural, I suppose. First crush and all.
I'm sure it won't last. They'll grow out of it, just like they do with their pants and t-shirts.
Or not, and it'll last forever.
If only we could look into the future and find out.
If only.
Hey Ben, maybe if you guys didn't lock up the bunker, you'd be able to find out. One thing I love about this season is the wordplay, especially when it alludes to time travel.
And Savannah, banging endlessly on the hatch? That's so stupid. So is talking to yourself. There must be another way.
Let's pause and take a moment to appreciate how good Elle Graham is at monologuing. I feel it's very rare to see moments like this. Okay, moment's over.
No. You listen to me. If I go out there tonight, see that you have failed to deliver.
Holy shit, Judge Walker's back. When I watched this for the very first time, I wasn't expecting to see him in this scene. It was great having him back, even though he was more or less a villain in the previous season.
Oh, wrong room. Sorry, I should have checked the numbers.
Savannah?
Daisy?
So, not only do we get Judge Walker back, but we also get an older Daisy. For the record, I predicted most of what was going to happen, even before Season 3 came out a few months ago. However, I couldn't help but be surprised when an older Daisy showed up, instead of her younger self, played by the same actress who was in the role of Harper. Still, a really great moment. It even made it into my countdowns episode for the season, so make sure you go check that out. Wait, don't go now. Watch it when you finish this video.
You guys won't believe it. I found out who the ghost is. It's Judge Walker.
And that was another prediction I had that came true. Was I on fire with these predictions or what?
What's happening?
Wait, has it always worked like that? That was honestly very satisfying to watch.
It's all the fuss, huh?
I fell into a big patch of something out in the woods.
Even though Griffin doesn't even know who Ruby is, he doesn't hesitate to cover for her.
It's not every day folks like him help people like us. Seems hinky.
Well, where we come from, it's not as hinky.
Guessing you're from up north then?
Something like that. People there are ahead of the times.
There's that wordplay again. I like how we as the audience know what Harper is talking about, but Ruby doesn't think anything of it. It's a clever way to cover up being a time traveler, I'll give her that.
Harper. I forgot these.
Thanks, Toph.
Wait, so Topher's alive? Totally didn't see that one coming. I'm serious, I actually didn't.
Griffin?
Man, the twists just keep coming.
I've been trying so hard to pretend that I'm fine. To not worry anyone.
I gotta give it to Kelly Fry. Her acting in this scene is top notch. Oh, and let's also not forget to mention how Sarah and Jess formed a bond in this scene. Just from this scene alone, you can tell Jess knows something is going on, because if you remember at the start of the series, she made a comment about how the Tremont was cursed, which goes all the way back to when Chris drowned in the lake, which just so happens to be near the Tremont.
Well, part of me just wants to travel to 2024. Just to see.
Not me. I don't want to see any future that doesn't have you in it.
I honestly love how Griffin and Harper were there for each other. For all of last season, Harper was trapped in the 1930s. You know what they say, distance makes the heart grow fonder. Plus, we already had that near kiss from the last season, so things can only progress from there.
I'm so sorry. I should never have doubted you. I think a part of me didn't want to admit any of this was possible.
Even though Ben didn't believe Sarah, it's great to see him coming around.
I'm so sorry. As I was explaining to this gentleman.
What, gentlemen?
And that right there, that small detail, is some great foreshadowing for Sam's character. I know it's been a while, but we shouldn't ignore the fact that this show has excellent taste in the score. The composers did a phenomenal job 3 years ago, and have always gotten it right, every single time.
I know who you really are, Judge Walker. And I know what you've done.
You shouldn't be in here.
That money the sheriff's looking for, you stole it. Just like you stole this land from my family.
Ruby's bravery and confidence is showcased really well in this scene, despite the fact that the judge is powerful and corrupt. Ruby is just standing up for what she believes in, which is to hold the judge accountable.
This is my room. Who are you?
Me? I'm just,
Mr. Campbell has obviously found himself in the wrong place.
And you can always count on Daisy to save Griffin from an awkward situation. Also, I find it interesting how the judge's wife looks almost like Sarah. I wonder what that could mean.
Skipping rocks? Seriously? I didn't hear you jumping in with anything.
Wyatt would be excellent at TV sins.
Are we interrupting something?
Oh, hello. I'm Ruby.
Ruby?
Again, very clever use of hidden messaging here. Even though it's been many years, Ruby immediately recognizes Harper but decides to play it off as if they've never met before.
grandmother, huh? You never really talk about her. She's from Chicago, right? Born and raised?
Actually, no. I mean, she lived there forever, but
What?
Well, I'm a bit fuzzy with the details, but I do remember hearing she lived somewhere else when she was younger.
So I guess you can say the whole look-alike trope in the show makes sense. First, we had Daisy, who looked exactly like Harper, and now we have the judge's wife, who looks exactly like Sarah.
I mean, it's crazy. I'm the one in danger here.
Instead of helping, and now we're all stuck spending the night at Topher's.
What's so bad about that? I've had some legendary sleepovers.
You mean like the one where you put the fake mouse in my sleeping bag?
It was a fake rat. And please, you were children then. Come on.
And this is just another reminder how grown-up the cast has become.
Show yourself! You caused enough suffering. Your days at the Tremont are over. Over. I'm just getting started.
Oh man, I love this scene. Ruby confronting the ghost without fear, the change in atmosphere, the choice in score, and we finally hear Judge Walker talk as a ghost. Perfect scene.
Come on, guys, hurry up. Faster.
Come on, Topher, speed it up.
Speed it up. Do you see what I'm writing here?
The way this scene was shot reminds me so much of the whole kids on a bike thing from Stranger Things, and maybe Paper Girls too. To be fair, Paper Girls is less known, and it's a shame it got cancelled. Wait, what was I talking about again?
All right, the bellman's door, come on. Oh, it's locked.
Patio.
Damn, just 2 minutes into the finale and the intensity got dialed up to 11.
Do what you have to, but leave the others alone.
The others? The children. Oh, I have them downstairs, guilty as charged. Their sentence? The same one I got.
And this is when you know we've entered phase 1 of the battle. Great intro.
In every horror movie, when someone goes down to a basement, they never come back. And before someone says this isn't a movie, I know it's not.
Topher referencing horror movie tropes. Next thing you know, he'll be taking over Dead Meat and doing the kill count. James better watch out for his job.
Okay, one is safe. No, no!
Sam!
Okay, so this was completely unexpected. Up until now, the characters in the show, mainly Griffin and Harper pre-season 3, were able to use the bunker to escape from almost any situation. I love what they did in season 3, and that was to take away their main advantage, so the kids now have to improvise and find another way out. If this were TV sins, I'd guess they would complain about how this moment is a plot convenience or something. Here's what I think though. While yes, this moment seemed to have come out of nowhere, I think the lesson here is that you shouldn't become overly reliant on one thing, which in this case is the bunker. Rather, you should at least have a backup plan. I also think this moment was right for the scene, because in case you haven't noticed, our band of characters have grown and evolved in multiple ways. And so has the show. Not all change is bad. Remember that.
He's a coward. You hear me? You're a coward. All this noise and shaking, we're not scared.
First off, Savannah's confidence and bravery? Huge win. Second, if you haven't been paying attention to the previous season, this scene is more or less a callback to when Ben stood up to Grace. However, in this case, Savannah is standing up to Judge Walker. Third, and finally, I gotta give another big win for everyone sticking together, despite the circumstances.
Evening. Oh, come on in. No need to be shy.
And now we're into the final phase? I gotta stop with the video game references. This scene was done so well. And just when Sam gave up, the ghost was nice enough to open the hatch.
Focus on me, Harper. I'll breathe with you.
This just goes to show how Savannah and Harper are always there for each other, even in the most dire of situations.
When you love someone, their happiness is all that matters. Seeing them smile and making them laugh, everything is just better when they're around. You are better.
Griffin's got a point. Someone who is pure evil like the judge has no idea what love actually means. Also, and it really depends on how you want to interpret the scene, but Griffin just reconfirmed that he and Harper have something special.
You want the Tremont to be your legacy? Well, guess what? It's not. This place will always be about one thing. Family.
I would probably include a Fast and Furious reference, but I don't follow the franchise. Why did I even think to write this one anyways? Whoever works on the visual effects for the scene needs a raise, like, now.
I'll never forget you.
You couldn't if you tried.
I've talked about the scene in Countdowns, and I'll talk about it again. What can I say? To say this was done perfectly would not do it justice. It's obvious in the scene that Savannah and Sam are close. I mean, she spent a lot of her time in the 1960s, when Sam used to work at the hotel, so they naturally form a close friendship over time. However, I will say that during my first watch, I had no idea Sam was actually a ghost. To be honest, I have no idea when it happened, but if you did pay attention on subsequent watches, then you can tell it was foreshadowed when Sam referenced unfinished business, which is common terminology when referring to ghosts. In this case, it can safely be assumed that Sam's unfinished business was the judge, and getting him out of the hotel. After all, the judge did steal the Tremonts home from them in the 30s, so once the judge was out of the picture, there wasn't a reason for Sam to be around any longer. Out of all of this, one thing I'm sure we're left to wonder is, how did Sam become a ghost and when? Maybe it's the time when he fell down the basement stairs in 1962. One could also assume something happened to him in 2024, as in dying in the fire, or maybe, and this one is more plausible, he could have died in the barn when he was fighting the judge from earlier. Wow, did I actually talk about a scene for nearly 4 paragraphs? I should really save some of this stuff for the conclusion. We'll get there in a bit.
Wait, Sam was a ghost this whole time?
Guess so.
I did not see that coming.
For once, Topher and I can agree on something.
I'm not saying goodbye.
Never sticks, does it?
See you later.
Someday.
Maybe it's just me, but I think Savannah knows this for a fact. I mean, we had Mrs. Barker show up a few times, and we know that she either is Savannah, or at least is connected to her in some way.
I'm Savannah, by the way.
Jordan Barker.
Ah, so that's where the Barker name came from. I'm calling it right now. They're going to get married, and Savannah will have her last name changed to Barker.
Is it too late to demand a recount?
Had to be rigged. Look at this face. How could I not win?
Again, great job with depicting these characters in the future. Also, one might assume Wyatt and Topher could have made a reference to the 2020 election.
Why wait for the future? We're already here.
Finally, we've been waiting 3 years for this, and it paid off. Guess we won't have to wait as long as I initially thought.
Once we break the radio, there's no more adventures.
I wouldn't say that.
Harper is not wrong. They did just have their first kiss, and a relationship like theirs is a whole new adventure.
That would be a huge mistake.
Who are you?
My name's Nick. Nick Campbell.
Campbell. As in...
Your son.
This just came way out of left field. It's confirmed. Griffin and Harper's relationship lasts forever, which goes all the way back to what Jess said earlier. I was not expecting this at all, and is the type of cliffhanger that makes you want another season. Now, if Disney could just not be Netflix for this show and renew it, that would be great. Okay, conclusion time. Secrets of Sulphur Springs Season 3 was an absolute masterpiece. I love how each season was its own story. Season 1 was all about solving the mystery of Savannah and saving her. Season 2 was when we were able to dive deep into the Tremont's history and find out why Grace was haunting the hotel. Then, in Season 3, it was all about the darkness and getting rid of another ghost. If you thought you can watch this one season alone to understand everything, you'd be mistaken. Seriously, if this was your first season, go back and watch the previous 2. You'll thank me. But anyways, back to Season 3. It was really well done. The character development in this season was great too, and I don't just mean that figuratively. I mean that literally. It was honestly great to see Madeline McGraw and Landon Gordon all grown up. It really just blew my mind when the trailers came out and we got to see that progression compared to 2 years ago. I also want to give a huge win to Peter Slaughter for working on the score. For 3 seasons, he's managed to use the perfect score for every scene, and I think we all know I was going to touch on this aspect eventually. The special effects, writing, and everything else about this season was done perfectly, and each episode had you on the edge of your seat. And that was also the case for the previous 2 seasons. If you can dedicate 3 hours, sit down and watch this season. You'll enjoy it. So what now? Well, for one thing, I want more details on Nick Campbell and how he fits into the show. Please, Disney, if you're listening, I think I speak for everyone when I say you should renew the show for just 1 more season, maybe even 2 seasons. I understand there's a strike going on right now, but when the strike is over, can you at least consider renewing it? That cliffhanger alone justifies it. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Now, I know I said I was going to put out an ending explained video. To be honest, I'm not sure if I want to or not, and if I do, I'm not sure when. I was thinking that if the show does get a renewal, I could put out an ending explained for season 3. Maybe before the new season comes out. I've mentioned this in the beginning of the video, and I'll mention it again. I've been heavily invested in the world of audio description, so I have a lot on my plate in terms of that. I think it's time I wrap up this video. Just from the length of the script alone, I get the feeling this video was long, and I apologize for that. However, if you enjoyed it, please support the channel by clicking the like and subscribe buttons below this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, have a good day. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have quite a few shows to binge, starting with The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.